Hi everybody, this is Bev, Clarko Vision, and hope you're all having a nice festive season. It's been a bit of a hectic and, well, not the best year for me, hence why I've not been on here as much as I would have liked to have probably, but I really felt I needed to do a kind of an end of year update type of Christmas gift kind of video thing, because I do have a few things that have just come in over the Christmas period, and I just wanted to share that with you and just chat about one or two things regarding the up and coming year, the end of the year, rough plans that I've got for one or two up and coming videos, etc, blah blah blah. But with me, nothing's ever concrete and set in stone. I just take it as it comes kind of thing. So I just want to say I hope you all had a nice Christmas and stuff for those that celebrate that. And I have to say I have been truly blessed. I need to move that out of the way because it's sending messages, so I'm just going to shove it there for the moment. Hopefully it doesn't move. Probably vibrate even louder now, but yeah, so as I said, I've been really blessed myself. As far as music goes this Christmas, it's been terrific for me. I treated myself to a couple of things. Yeah, before Christmas, just in the general browsing that I do in various places, I found a couple of OGs, original presents from back in the day that were on my wants list, which I've picked up. Really glad about that, and I've got a few new releases that have dropped this year. And just I got a Christmas VCLT as well from a gentleman across in Texas, and as I say, that's why I'm feeling really blessed, to be honest with you. I mean, he goes up above and beyond, as we all know. So what I'm just going to try and get through this. I have a lot to show. I don't want to linger too much, because I want to try and get through this without keeping you here forever. So let's just get on with it. So a couple of, yeah, I'll just tell it how it goes. I'm going to keep the VCLT to the end. The stuff I got myself, I'll show first. So this band, Silver Bones, I don't know how well you can see that without the glare, cassette. They released their second album ever, I Have the Debut, which came out in about 2016, so this is a long time coming. And there is the J card, which is quite a nice little one there. And these 4 tracks, the final 4 tracks on side B, are actually Runnin' Wild covers. So Silver Bones are basically, they're out of Italy. They're obviously a modern day metal band, and they pride themselves on the pirate metal kind of Running Wild, very much Running Wild inspired and influenced by them. That's what they are. And this album, which is Brethren of the Coast, and the previous album Wild Waves, are both pirate metal themed, and they do it extremely well. They're a bit like Blazing Stone, Cedric Forsberg's band that he put together, again, the Running Wild pirate metal inspired stuff. So this is another one of these bands. They announced that they were finally dropping a new album, which is this one. I pre-ordered it through Bandcamp. I've pre-ordered the CD, and then they announced they were getting some copies released on tape. I've got the tape as well. I've actually still waiting to get the CD in. The CD's not arrived yet. I think the CD's coming from Stormspell Records, and probably from the US, I might think. The cassette has been issued by Burning Sun Records, who are a Hungarian underground label, I believe. So I don't know if that's anything to do with why the tape got here first, but the tape came in. I have not listened to the album in full yet, but I have heard a song and bits, and I just know it's going to be great, because I really enjoyed their first album. Cedric Forsberg, he guests solo on one of the tracks on here as well, so he knows about this band. Fantastic, from Italy. Another couple of bands. This band I already know about. They released their first album, I think it was 2021, Emerald Rage, and they're also on the Stormspell label. And this is their second album, which just dropped later this year. Emerald Rage, and it's called Valkyrie. Again, apologies for the glare. Traditional heavy metal. Where are these guys from? I think they're from America, if I'm correct, but I could be wrong. There's that many bands I'm trying to remember, but I'm sure these guys might be from the States. But yeah, really excellent band. I liked what I heard the last time. Kind of that epic-y kind of vibes to them. They sing about kind of old school kind of stuff. You can sort of get the gist from maybe the artwork, I don't know, and this character here. So yeah, again, not had a chance to hear the thing in full. It just come in recently. And the other band, which is a completely new discovery for me, I just happened upon them through YouTube, and these guys are from Ecuador. Now it's a duo. There's a guy who does pretty much all the instrumentation. I think he gets a guest bass player in to do bass and cello work. He does all the other instruments, and it's a female vocalist, so it's just him and the female vocalist, and so they're from, I believe, Ecuador, and again it's just very kind of melodic hard rock, melodic metal, inspired by the 80s, I think. They kind of take their inspiration from that kind of ilk. But really good stuff from what I heard. I heard a couple of the tracks, really liked it, so I went to their Bandcamp and picked up this CD. Also from Stormspell, they're on Stormspell's label as well. Yeah, new wave of old school heavy metal, so they're kind of inspired by a lot of the 80s bands. So that is Bitter Velvet, people. Another one to check out. And I think it's the first band I've ever got stuff from Ecuador from. So. Now, onto the vinyl. One of the originals that I had been after, this has been on my wants list for quite a while after discovering them through YouTube. It's quite a rare record to get a hold of because they weren't very well known back in the day. They are a British band, I think. Yes, they are. I can't remember where they're from, but they're from somewhere in England. And the band is called Hammer. And the album, so One and Done band, I think they only ever managed to release the one full-length album, Contract with Hell. New wave of British heavy metal kind of styling. But interestingly enough, when I was listening to a couple of their songs on YouTube, there is, I'm going to forget this, I was listening to it again just last night briefly. They have a keyboard, and that's it. It kind of reminded me, you know, the Van Halen era where they had Jump and, you know, the big hit with Jump, and there's a lot of the synthy keyboard sound in that Van Halen era. they have, and in this album, there's a keyboard sound that's just a little bit sounding like that, and it made me think of Van Halen, the sound, just when I heard the keyboards on a couple of the songs, but it's not full blown like it is on the Van Halen. It's a little less full on. For the most part, this is just really good guitar driven music. And it's a very, very good and interesting album, so I was really pleased to get hold of this. I found one on eBay, and so with some of the Christmas money, I just pounced on it the other day. A little bit more expensive than what I'm trying to pay, but because I think of the rarity of finding this album, it's in really nice condition. There's a little bit of edge wear and a slight, crease in the corner, but, there's no splits or anything. And it's on the Ebony record label, which was around back in the 80s. I think it's from 80, if my memory serves me right, about 84, 85. Maybe it'll tell me on the record here, I don't know. Yes, 1985 Ebony Records, so that's your Ebony label there. Records in lovely condition, just come in today, this one, so I've still to clean it. But very pleased to add that to the collection. So that was a wee treat to myself with some of my Christmas money. Where am I going to put all this stuff here? Because I'm kind of just... I've set up a wee table in the middle of this mess that I've got right now, so that'll go there. Another one I found, this one I found about a month ago. I've had this for a month. This was on... Discogs. A seller was selling it rather cheaply, and it was on my wants list, so I went and picked it up. I thought that gets that one out of the way. Mayo Fist. Now these guys are a Canadian band. I think they're known in Canada as Fist, but because there's a British band who also known as Fist, and this was back in the 80s as well, for them to be distinguished and all that kind of stuff, I think they put the Mayo part in front of Fist to make it Mayo Fist. So any kind of European issues from this band, you'll get Mayo Fist, and I think if you get a Canadian issue, you just get Fist. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's kind of how it works. So I think this is the second album that was released by these guys. They've got a few, not a huge amount, but they do have a few. I've got their first album, or was it the one before this? Hot Spikes, I think it's called. And this one is called Thunder and Rock. I wanted to pick this one up. This is 1981, so I am assuming Hot Spikes was probably about 1980. And it's on A&M Records. A nice pressing, just again another one of these plain old school sleeves, and yeah, it's the classic A&M Records label. You've got, again, very nice condition, from 1981. Just kind of like a hard rock, early 80s kind of metal kind of vibes from Canada. So yeah, so that was the two old school OGs that I had recently picked up. So some of the newer stuff that I had got, with those two CDs I ordered this at the same time because it had been reissued. So earlier this year, also Canadian band, but this is a new era Canadian band. Gatekeeper, they released a new album this year, and I have it, and it's probably one of my favourite albums of the year. How many of you have also checked that album out? Great stuff. So Canadian heavy metal, and as it happens, Cruisedale Sur were reissuing their... Is this their debut album? I think it is. East of Sun, this one's called. Because obviously the first pressings of it had long since sold out. So I decided I would just grab a copy of this from Cruisedale Sur. And so here it is. It's on a gatefold sleeve. Can't remember how many more pressings, 200 or something like that. But yeah, this band is a really good band. I do enjoy them. And you get, with it, you get a download card, which is in here somewhere, I don't know. You get a poster of the artwork, which I'll not bother. And you also get a printed lyric sheet and credits on that side. And apparently this version is called Electric Blue, which I quite like this colour of vinyl. I think it's quite a nice one, to be honest. I have got another one a bit similar in this shade. So yeah, Easter Sun. And this was originally released in, there is a date on here, this came out in 2018. This record from Gatekeeper, and as I say, they released a new one earlier this year, which is absolutely brilliant. Highly recommend checking them out. So that is Gatekeeper, and I'm gonna put these away after because, you know, trying to keep the time down. So on to the next. Let me just pop that. Bear with me, people. Right, there we go. So the next four, I learned they were all being released, and I thought I have to get these on vinyl because this particular band I'm trying to get all their catalogue on vinyl. Hopefully eventually. I may not, but I guess it depends if they reissue everything else, because not everything was released on vinyl. I have most of their earlier stuff on vinyl, but I don't have, obviously I never had these on vinyl until these were reissued by AFM Records. So 4 U.D.O albums from the 90s, Solid, which I've never actually heard this record in full. I think they're all on gatefold sleeves. So U.D.O Solid, there is the back. Yeah, and in the inside you've got the lyrics printed there. They're all like that. The lyrics are on the inside of the gatefold, and each record comes in your plain sleeve. And the records are all in different colours. This one is a silver colour. So I got Solid, and the following 3 that came after that. Out of these 4, the only one I had is No Limits. I have an original CD of this one. So we have No Limits on vinyl. Again, AFM Records has released all of these, and some of them, they're selling fast, obviously. I got them all through an eBay seller who had all 4, because when I went to AFM Records, I was weighing up my options. This was kind of my Christmas treat to myself, these 4. And AFM had sold out one of them or 2 of them, but had the other 2. And then I was going around the websites to see who had what. And I'm looking on Amazon, and Amazon didn't have them all, and EMP didn't have them all. And then there was the ones where you would pay shipping. This eBay seller, the shipping was included in the price, so there was no extra for the postage. But if I ordered for AFM, I would be paying postage. So doing my calculations, it was going to be 6.5, regardless of where I bought them from. So I just opted to get them all for this eBay seller, and it was fine. They all came. So No Limits. This is on clear blue vinyl. I'm not going to show them all because of the time. And then after that, I can't remember which order they come in. 99, 2002. So this one was next. Holy, again, don't really know this album yet. Don't own this, haven't owned this one until now. Sorry about the glare. It's probably better if I do that. There you go. So yeah, this is a pretty cool artwork. I like the stained glass window with the guitars up here. So Holy, and finally Man and Machine, which so Holy's on purple vinyl. It's like a violet-y kind of purple, and Man and Machine is on white vinyl, and there you have it. So very pleased to get those. So I do have quite a number of U.D.O's stuff. I've got all their 80s material and into the early 90s, apart from one. It's the one with the eye on the front. What is it? Something face, something to do with the faceless or something like that. You know the one. That one I still need to get. So yeah, that is all my own stuff. The rest I'm going to show is what I got in the VCLT from Jim Davies, or Santa Jim as he's called himself at this time of year. And again, I opened this on Christmas morning and I didn't film it. I just wanted to kind of do it off camera and just enjoy the moment with my family. And he also sent me a calendar, which is in the other room, of Texas Longhorn cattle. Obviously these cattle, you don't really see these guys in Britain, so pretty cool. And me being someone that kind of likes cows, perfect. So yeah, that was amazing, Jim. Thank you so much. So what he got me is pretty much everything here. He had kind of asked me about a few things. Most of it was on my wants list. One or two things are quite new from this year, but I had to conflab with them because there was things I knew was getting released just year, and I didn't know if he was considering getting them for me, or so I didn't want to buy them and have him buy them as well, kind of thing. So I did know about a couple of things that would be in here. There was one though that I bought and he's also bought. However, that one I will pass on to somebody who hasn't got it and is interested in it. And that one is the new album from Serenity and Nemesis AD. I bought this one myself. New release this year, symphonic metal band. Really good album indeed. So I will have this one going out to somebody. So I have just opened it to make sure the actual record's okay. Well, I've split the thing to check the record, but I've kept the actual shrink wrap on it. So, but the rest of the stuff he got me, starting with this interesting one here that probably nobody's ever heard of this band before either, including myself, until I discovered them on YouTube, as I tend to do with a lot of bands. Force 3. I'm pretty sure they're a one and done as well. And according to Discogs' information, I originally assumed they were an American band because this was really only ever issued in the United States back in the day. This album is from the year 1988. And it's called Warrior of Light, the album. Yeah, you know, what does that tell you? Classic 80s kind of hard rocky, metal-y kind of thing. You're just slipping a wee bit, so I'll put that there. And now they're going to fall the other way, but never mind. So, but it turns out Force 3 are actually from the United Kingdom. They're a British band. Never heard of them, but I sampled them on YouTube and I quite liked what I was hearing. So they're kind of melodic hard rock. And I think also, I can't be sure, but I'm guessing it might be a Christian metal band, kind of, you know, like the Striper and bands in that category. He is thanking Jesus Christ on the back. Not that you have to be a Christian metal band to do that, I guess, but what I did notice, Golgotha, He is Risen, that's one of the tracks, so I thought, that's kind of, I wonder if this band is that kind of a Christian metal band. So, I have not listened to the whole album in full. I've listened to a couple of the tracks, but I wanted it. Not to mention the fact that, again, like that Hammer one that I showed at the start of the video, it's quite rare. I've never seen it over here, ever. And when I was speaking to Jim Davies, I asked if he would mind getting it, because all the sellers on Discogs were in the States. And I asked, would you mind, you know, helping me out with this? And that way, the seller won't have to ship it over here. It can just go to the States and it'll all come together with what Jim sent me. And so, yeah, he kindly obliged to do that. And I am super, super grateful. I feel like I'm looking over here, but the camera is up here. So if I'm not actually looking directly at it, well, I am now. But you know, if my eyes look like they're to the side, that's because I'm looking at making sure I'm getting everything on the screen here. But yeah, so yeah, it's thanks to Jim as well that I ended up getting this. Again, it's in lovely condition. There's a little, very minor ring wear, which you can't really see from this angle. Yeah. It's yeah, made in the USA. It's a US pressing, and it does come with inner sleeve, which has the lyrics on this side. So yeah, just going by some of the lyrics which I've looked at, I'm getting that could be a bit of a Christian inspired album. So anyway, and it's on Pure Metal is the label. Very nice condition again. There is the Pure Metal label. I don't know how well you can sort of make that out, but the record's in nice condition. 1988. So again, that's another kind of more obscure, I guess you would call that, sounding record. Thank you to Jim again, and everything else I'm showing you here is what Jim sent me. Visions of Atlantis were having reissues of some of the earlier albums on vinyl for the first time. This is one of them, called Trinity. Of course, I've got them on my wants list, so he sent me one of these. This is reissued on Napalm Records, and it's supposed to be on an orange and blue splatter, but the orange doesn't show up too well. It's there, but it's not bright orange kind of thing. It's on a gatefold sleeve. I really like Visions of Atlantis. They're kind of melodic, power symphonic kind of thing. This is one band that I really quite enjoy, so he sent me that one, which is fantastic. And he also sent me this one, which is a 2023 release. This is just a brand new release this year. Visions of Atlantis, Pirates over Wacken, sorry. Pirates over Wacken. So obviously this is a live record from when they were at Wacken. Nathan, Leslie, were you somewhere in here? Did you see this band when you were there? You saw plenty, I can't remember who you all saw. So this is 4 sides, double LP. This is just the black vinyl edition. You've got a bit of right up there. Again on Napalm Records. Now he then sent me two, again, these are reissued for the first time, I think. Certainly one of them is for the first time on vinyl. It was initially just a CD, and it's from a band called Power Quest. Now these guys formed in about 1999, so they're one of the earlier power metal kind of bands, so they're kind of just a bit more traditional metal, power metal-ish, kind of a bit like maybe Halloween's earlier stuff. I'm guessing, because I don't know this band that well. They had recently come to my attention. I discovered them, but I hadn't really delved into them too much. I've also learned that this is a British band. There's not too many power metal bands come out of the UK, right enough, but this one is from the UK. And this is a reissue on vinyl of their debut, Wings of, what's that? Wings of Forever. Exclusive black vinyl, limited to 150. And this is on Inner Wound Recordings. This is a Scandinavian label out of Sweden, I think. And that's the band there. So, yeah, this originally came out, I think, in, I don't know, was it 99 or 2000? But this was just reissued in 2022. And Jim has very kindly picked it up for me. So, yeah. So, UK power heavy metal, and this album, Sixth Dimension, is their latest album, which came out in 2017. So yeah, 2017 on the back of this one. Strictly limited to 500 copies worldwide, it says on the back. So there's almost kind of like, there's a good 15 years of difference between the two records, and I don't know if there'll be a big difference in their style or their sound, or if they've changed their style a little bit or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to checking these out. They haven't made anything since this album. In 2017, I believe one of their band members passed away some years back, so I don't know if that's got something to do with it or what, but I do not know if there'll be more for this band or not, but good one to check out. This band, I don't really know anything about either, and I was looking at it, and I think I remember the name being mentioned at some point between me and Jim. I could be wrong, but again, I don't really know anything about this band. So they're called Rexoria, and this album is called Imperial Dawn. There is a few albums out for this band as well. This, I believe, is this band's latest album, and it's 2022 on the back here, and this is on Black Lodge Records label. I'm not really familiar as to where Black Lodge are, a Swedish label, yep. So there you go. And I can't recall if this band's out of Sweden or not. They might not be, but pretty cool artwork. There's a lot of detail in here if you look closely. Female fronted as well. I don't know, Nathan, if you know these guys or not. You may do, perhaps. Maybe that's where I've heard the name. I honestly can't remember. But, so this is my first from these guys. So I'm really looking forward to checking them out as well. And again, this is on black vinyl also. What does it say here? There is a hype sticker. And it says, Rexoria brings more power, energy and melodies than ever before with this third album, Imperial Dawn. And it's mixed by Stefan Hilleblad from Within Temptation. So there you have it. So another one to look forward to. This one I had definitely wanted to get because I knew this was being released earlier on in the year, and at the time I just hadn't got around to pre-ordering it or buying it or whatever. And so I did mention it to Jim as one of the ones from this year. So I says, because I've mentioned these to you, I'm going to leave them alone just in case, and you know, there wouldn't be duplicate issues. So Jim picked this one up for me, and this is Trinity from Ronnie Atkins, the third, and I don't know if it'll be the last release from him, maybe not. As a solo artist, Pretty Maid's lead vocalist. And apparently this one is supposedly meant to be a bit heavier sounding than the previous two that he's released. So that can only be good, I reckon. And I have not heard all of this either, so I'm going to sit down and enjoy the whole thing. It's a double album, has 2 records in it, 4 sides. It's on a nice glossy sleeve, and it's on Frontiers record label, and nice inner there, and it's on white vinyl. It's limited to white vinyl. Can't remember how many pressings, but yeah. So it is on white vinyl. Just in case you don't believe me, I'll show you. There you go, white vinyl. So really chuffed to get this one finally. Another one I had been waiting on, excited about as well, which Jim had sent, was KK's Priest. There was no way I was not having this in my collection, so I knew this was another one I had noted that I would be wanting, and Jim has very kindly picked that one up for me. Like everything else here, I've not heard the full album. I've heard some of the tracks. It sounds pretty good. Hang on a minute. That's just it. There we go. So yeah, I know a few others of you have had this album, and I've heard good things about it. I'm expecting good things from it. There you go. Another, I think just about everything these days seems to be gatefold released. It's been released through Napalm Records here, and this one has a nice printed inner sleeve, which I do like when you get them like this. It's kind of more like how it used to be. So yeah, and this is just the black vinyl edition as well. So that was all the vinyl, and he sent me a handful of CDs. Yes, bear with me, we're almost done. Again, on my wants list, I wanted a copy of this, couldn't find it, and then Jim informed me in his note that this had been reissued, and right enough, this is the reissue, and it's apparently been remixed, and the track order is different to the original release. I don't know how different it may sound to the original, because I haven't heard the original in full. Digipack from Heat, I have their debut. This is the second from this band. I really enjoyed the debut, very 80s influenced. Then this one from Temperance, which has been on my want list for a while, of Jupiter and Moons. A lot of the artwork on here as well. And I've just learned, Jim informed me, that this is also getting reissued next year on vinyl. I'll see how much I like it as to whether I go for the vinyl or not, because vinyl being pricey and all that, I need to really consider if I have a CD, if I really need to have the vinyl. So, but yes, another brilliant one from Temperance. I had mentioned this band earlier in the year, just discovered them not too long ago, and these guys are called Scream Maker. I think it was Kevin, War God's channel, that put me onto these guys. These are out of Poland, this band, just traditional heavy metal, really good heavy metal band. And this is their latest, released this year on Frontiers. And I think I also pointed out that Frontiers are releasing a few heavier bands as well lately. And so yeah, Land of Fire by Screammaker. Really good quality band. Just traditional kind of heavy metal. Worth checking out. Another one, I have quite a few for this band as well. I really enjoy this band, Burning Point. These guys are out of Finland. They're just melodic power metal, according to the hype sticker. And this is the first album with a new vocalist who happens to be Niti Velo, who used to be in Battle Beast. She is the vocalist, the lead vocalist on here. So this album's called The Blaze. Sorry about the glare, people. Haven't heard this one yet, but I really enjoy the music that this band puts out as well. Again, just very cool heavy metal. This was on my wants list as well, and it's been reissued. This is Ancient Empire. Now I have 2 albums of this band, or is it 3? I have a couple anyway. And this is another one of their earlier ones, and it's been reissued and remastered, gold CD remasters, and it's this is out on Stormspell, this edition, and it is a gold coloured tinted CD. You can sort of see that. I think the artwork is slightly different to the original artwork as well. But yeah, so this is Otherworld. I think it's their second album, or is it? Yeah, I think it's their second. So you get 3 bonus tracks on here, which I don't know if they are available on the original release. Ancient Empire, I think they're US power metal. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. So yeah, the CD is... That looks gold, doesn't it? Yeah. Ooh. And the last one, I do apologise that this is taking so long. I mean, this is me trying to hurry, you know? Last one, of course, I needed to get this album. I knew this was coming out this year, and I thought I'll go for the CD first because I'll see how much I like it. And I know I just said earlier that I want to get everything on vinyl for this band, but I've got to be honest and say the album title and the theme for the artwork kind of put me off, because this is very, no offence to American football or anything, but it's very American football, and I just thought, why is German heavy metal band doing an album themed on... I mean, the last track called Touchdown. I don't know if the entire album is related or themed around American football. I don't think so, but I don't know, because I haven't heard it yet. I deliberately did not want to hear any of the tracks off this because I wanted to keep it to listen to all together. I am expecting good things from it. But I've got to be honest and say, for some reason, the cover art put me off going for the vinyl first, and I opted for the CD. Not to mention that this is actually a jewel case, which is becoming a rare thing these days, obviously, with the CDs, even though I've still got some other jewel cases here. But this is out on Atomic Fire, which is now the label that U.D.O have switched over to. I've heard good things about this record, so I am looking forward to it. And that is it. So Jim got me all these, and 9 records. Unbelievable, yeah. So yeah, it's been a great Christmas for me as far as that goes. I hope it's been good to yourselves. And I am going to try to get out another couple of videos fairly soon. I will be doing a review of the year probably, but if it's anything like me, usually you'll get it mid to late January or early February, because I've still got half of this year's stuff to listen to and digest. So it's don't I look for my year-end review now, because it'll not be now. I've also got another video following on from the 10 new bands in my collection. I want to do another one on 10 old school bands that are in my collection now that I didn't know about back in the day. That's going to be the follow-up to that. And there was something else I was thinking about and I can't even remember, so... Oh, that was the other thing. I'm going to go through my collection soon and have a wee purge of things. I'm running out of space, particularly for the vinyl. So I want to go through things to see what I've got. If I have stuff on vinyl and CD, I'm going to consider what I want to keep and what not. Some things I might only need to keep one format of, whereas I did say in the past there is a certain few bands I like to have both, but that's just a select few. But I'm going to go through all my records and see if there's some stuff I might want to get rid of now that I'm maybe happy to pass on, or I'm not going to listen to a lot, to free up more space for incoming stuff. So if there is such a bundle, I'll do a video on that, and if anyone's interested in anything, you can let me know about it, but that'll be further down the line as well, so keep an eye out. Meanwhile, I'm going to stop my rambling. All the best for the coming new year. Stay safe. I hope it's a really good year coming for me, quite frankly, because this was a lousy year. And I hope it's also a good year for all of you. And stay safe and take care. And thank you for hanging out for nearly an hour. You're the best. Right, bye the now. Oh, and Jim, amazing. Thank you.